There was a small house on the edge of the town where time seemed to move a little slower. On its wall hung an old wooden clock, one that had ticked faithfully for over 50 years. It belonged to Mr. Harris, a retired teacher who now spent most of his days watching the sunset from his porch. Every evening, just before dusk, he would glance at that clock, 5:42 p.m., and smile. That was the time he used to return home from work, when his wife, Lily, would already be waiting by the window. The same warm tea, the same quiet laughter. But Lily had been gone for 5 years now. The clock, however, kept ticking, as if it still remembered her. One day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the clock's ticking suddenly stopped. The hands froze exactly at 5:42. Mr. Harris noticed it the next morning, and for some reason he didn't fix it. He simply looked at it and whispered, "So you've decided to rest too." From that day on, every evening, he would sit by the porch, just as before, watching the sun fade, as if time itself had finally agreed to stand still with him. He often thought about that clock. He remembered how Lily had chosen it on their wedding day, how she laughed when it rang too loud, how she would stand on a chair just to wind it every Sunday morning. That clock was more than a machine. It was a witness to love, to arguments, to forgiveness, and to years that passed quietly. One afternoon, his young neighbor, Emma, came by. She noticed the silent clock and asked, "Why don't you fix it, Mr. Harris?" He smiled gently. "Because," he said, "some things are more beautiful when they stop, when they remind us that every moment is precious, just as it is." Emma didn't quite understand then, but years later, when she grew older, she would. On a quiet evening, Mr. Harris passed away peacefully in his chair, the same sunset painting his room in gold. The clock still stood at 5:42. And when Emma visited years later, she kept it just as it was. Sometimes we don't need time to move forward. Sometimes we just need to remember.